Hi. So, Theresa May hasn't now just betrayed Brexit. She has enabled tyranny. She has brought Jeremy Corbyn into her charade of delivering Brexit and legitimised this Jew-hating totalitarian and made him a virtual shoo-in to win the next election. What she's basically saying to her party is, if you do not defend the lie that I have delivered Brexit at the next election, I will I will let Jeremy Corbyn defend that lie, and he will win and you will lose because I would have destroyed you as a party. When Theresa May overruled her Home Secretary Sajid Javid by denying asylum to the Pakistani Christian Asia Bibi to avoid communal tensions, that told us all we needed to know about the moral character of Theresa May. If you are Jewish and you need to hide from Jeremy Corbyn when he comes to power, whatever you do, do not ask Theresa May to hide you. If you are an ex-Muslim and you need to hide from Jeremy Corbyn's jihadi terrorist friends when he comes to power, do not ask Theresa May to hide you. Jeremy Corbyn has had a tremendous run of luck paving his way to power. First of all, we had 35 morons, to use the term used by one of those morons, Margaret Beckett MP, who nominated him for the Labour leadership contest despite having nothing in common with what he believes in, to widen the debate, which then of course led to every Jew-hating kook in the country swarming into Labour to pay their £3 subscription to make their fellow Jew-hating kook leader of Her Majesty's loyal opposition. And then the even more astounding luck that his opponents have made the country think that Jeremy Corbyn is not an anti-Semite by asking him to do more to combat anti-Semitism in his party. A man who has spent his entire political life supporting genocidal anti-Semites and Holocaust deniers against the Jewish state, and instead of denouncing him as an anti-Semite, his opponents have asked him to do more to tackle this inexplicable surge in anti-Semitism since he became Labour leader. Oh, you cannot make it up. You cannot make it up. I mean, it's as if that if Jeremy Corbyn does end up imposing tyranny upon Britain, then maybe that will be punishment for having allowed our underage daughters to be raped on an industrial scale by Muslim grooming gangs with impunity for decades. Boy, would we deserve that punishment. I'm just hoping that at least in the House of Commons there will be at least one Tory MP who will simply get up and denounce Theresa May for betraying Brexit and for enabling tyranny by legitimising Corbyn, and declare that he or she is standing down from her seat to stand again in defence of British democracy. I just hope there is at least one Tory MP with the gumption to do that. And I said she instead of the conventionally gender inclusive use of the male pronoun, because the Tory MP I see most likely to do that is Priti Patel. And if she does, I hope she's not the only one. This situation we are in cries out for it. On the positive side, Mrs. May's treachery, because I think Nigel Farage has it exactly right. I think from the word go, she never had any intention of delivering Brexit. Why on earth do you appoint that Ollie Robbins chap, I believe it is, a Euro fanatic who wants to see a Euro superstate? Why on earth would you appoint someone like that to negotiate Brexit unless you have absolutely no intention of doing so? Getting back to the point I was making, the silver lining to Mrs. May's treachery is that in what seems like a done deal that we're going to have Euro elections will mean that, in my view, the only man with the gravitas and acumen to be British Prime Minister, Nigel Farage, will be leading his Brexit Party into that election. And that is a great opportunity to have a barometer of public opinion and to see where that leads. There's a bit of a, pardon me, look, my wrist is aching, I'm such a little weed. There's a bit of a dilemma because I've been impressed by what Gerard Batten has been saying in interviews. I think he performs very well in interviews, a lot of great dignity and calm, but to the point and blunt with what he says. And especially his last speech in the Euro Parliament, I thought was on a par with Nigel Farage. I mean, no one ever says it better than Nigel Farage, but he was there, and he's recently done a fantastic interview with the dreadful Matt Fry on LBC. So on one hand, it would be great if both he and Nigel Farage could put their personal animosity aside that they clearly have for the good of the country and avoid splitting the Brexit vote at the next election. But at the same time, every Tory MP and Tory member who has no confidence in Mrs. May, and who on earth can do, should be willing to face expulsion from their party by supporting Nigel Farage's Brexit Party at the next Euro election. But reaching an accommodation with Gerard Batten could very well alienate a massive swathe of those potential Tory supporters for the Brexit Party. And at the end of the day, I think you would have to go with not alienating them and risk losing a degree of seats in the proportional representation system that we have. But let's see how it pans out. And all I can say is go, Nigel, go. Your country needs you like never before.